Hi dear Virgos, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of April. This year April is quite busy because we got four big astrological events happening in this month. And so first of all we have got Mercury retrograde in Aries. After that we got a solar eclipse in Aries, and then we have the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. This is a very rare conjunction, and so maybe not very, but like still, it's quite rare. And then at the end of the month, we have a full moon in Scorpio. So let's begin. On the very first day of April, Mercury will station retrograde in Aries on the 27th degree of Aries. And so, dear Virgos, this is your eighth house, the house of other people's money, shared resources like loans, your partner's money. And it's also the house of psychology, transformations, all right? And so, what does Mercury retrograde mean? Mercury retrograde is the time of disruptions and challenges related to communication. Like there might be misunderstandings, miscommunications, because first of all, Mercury rules communication. And so when Mercury is going backwards, like the things that are ruled by Mercury tend to be like malfunctioning. And dear Virgos, you guys are going to feel this because you are ruled by Mercury, and so you feel it every time Mercury goes retrograde. And so, you guys probably know that during Mercury retrograde, and there are higher chances of like sending the email to the wrong person, or like forgetting to untag the person who is not supposed to see the email or the text or the post, whatever, and something communication related, or you forget to tag, attach some file to the email that was like very important, stuff like that. And also, this is a time when technology malfunctions. Like, let's say your phone is acting up or your fridge breaks. Like, I know someone whose fridge broke during Mercury retrograde. And what else? Agreements, contracts. April is not a good time to sign those because Mercury rules those things again. And so, even if you do have to sign contract in April, be mindful that the terms might change along the way. It's not going to be as it is at the time of the signing the contract. Like, let's say you rent an apartment and you sign the lease for a year, but then later your plans change and you have to move to a new place, so you didn't complete the contract, right? It's like that kind of stuff. I'm not saying this will happen to you, dear Virgos. I'm just giving an example of the contract stuff. But you know what? Signing contracts during Mercury retrograde are not always bad. Like last year, I had to sign my work contract during Mercury retrograde. I was like, oh my god, like, will I get fired or something? But no. So when I signed the contract, the salary was like slightly less than they were supposed to pay me. And then they told me, they were like, okay, like sign it, because like right now we're negotiating a new contract. So when they did complete the new contract, like I had to sign the contract again, but this time Mercury was direct. And so sometimes signing during Mercury retrograde is not always bad, okay? But still, it's generally not advised. And also, remember, this time Mercury's retrograde is happening in Aries, so there might be a lot of passionate speeches, aggressive communication, like demanding, get to the point, like that kind of communication. Yeah, like very aggressive, argumentative kind of energy. So be mindful of that, dear Virgos. And also, if you are planning to travel around this time, please know that the chances of flight delays, flight cancellations increases during Mercury retrograde. So I would say make sure you check the airline policy regarding flight delays, flight cancellations, because sometimes you can get reimbursed for those. Normally we don't know those things because they're hidden in the terms, like it's tiny texts in the airline website, on the airline website. But there are plenty of TikTok videos where they explain those things. So, dear Virgos, it's good to know those things. Also, like when it comes to travel, there's also higher chance of like losing luggage, or like your luggage getting lost at the airport. So make sure you get one of those like Apple tags. You put it inside your suitcase, and if it gets lost, you can easily locate it because of that. Like just in case. And also, dear Virgos, if you're not planning to travel, but still, like, keep in mind that during Mercury retrogrades, we tend to be much more forgetful. So make like a mini list that you like checklist where you check before you leave the house or maybe any place so that you don't forget anything there. Like last year during Mercury retrograde, I forgot my house keys at work. Like who does that? Like that never happened to me before. But for some reason during Mercury retrograde, I left my keys at work. Like I come home, I'm like I couldn't find my keys in my bag, and then like I suddenly remembered that I put it on the table at work. Yeah, so something like that. It is extremely annoying, but like no, that Mercury retrograde doesn't last for a long time. It's like slightly more than 3 weeks. By the end of April, we will be done with Mercury retrograde. So, dear Virgos, be patient in April. And so after this, on April 4th or 5th, depending on where you live, Venus will enter Aries until April 29th. And so, dear Virgos, Venus will leave your house of relationships and enter the house of like deep intimacy. Yeah, the eighth house is also the house of intimacy. Mm. This is a house where you share your secrets with your spouse. This is also the house where maybe like your partner will be going through a favorable period financially, because eighth house is your partner's money house, and when Venus is in there, Venus rules finances, so financially your partner might be doing well around this time. And also, what else? Like, so loans, other people's money, the money that people owe you or the money that you owe to them, that kind of stuff. Shared resources. Yeah, shared resources, the topic of that will be much easier around this time. Psychology, transformation, and so like next, and also I forgot to mention, when Venus is in Aries, we all tend to become bolder, like more confident, more assertive. Okay, so I was gonna say that if you are single and if you have been too shy to confess to someone during this transit, you might have the courage to like confess or like ask them out. Or it might be that you will be asked out because the other person now has more courage to ask you out. Like it's this kind of energy, because Venus, rules romance, and Aries is assertiveness. So Venus in Aries is about making the first move. All right, so that should be fun. And next, on April 8th, we have the new moon solar eclipse in Aries on the 19th degree of Aries. And dear Virgos, again, you can see 8th house stuff. Like I forgot to mention it in the beginning of the video, but like normally April is a time when you focus on your finances, like the money that you owe to banks, like shared resources, like other people's money, intimacy, psychology. It's like that kind of time, because the planets transit through your 8th house around this time. And this year it's especially pronounced because we got an eclipse here. And so, dear Virgos, try to remember 2006 and 2005 and 2006, because that was the last time we had North Node in Aries. Okay, it takes 18 years for the North Node to return to the same house. And so what that means is the things that happened in 2005 and 2006, similar themes will repeat this time. So try to remember, if you were old enough, like what happened in 2005 and 2006 regarding like shared resources, finances, loans and stuff. Maybe like back then you bought your first house and now around this time you are paying it off, like even though a bit early, like normally mortgages are 30 years, right? But like you get the idea, hopefully. And then I'm going to make a separate video for the solar eclipse, because I'm trying to keep this video short. And in that video, I'll try to provide more details, all right? So please check that out. And then on April 11th, the Sun will be conjunct Mercury retrograde in Aries on the 22nd degree of Aries. Again, this is happening in your 8th house. And so, 8th house, like conjunction of Mercury and retrograde. Like, so normally when Mercury is conjunct the Sun in direct motion, Mercury is like on the other side of the Sun from Earth's perspective. But this time, because it's retrograde, the retrograde conjunctions happen when Mercury is between the Sun and the Earth. right? So whatever clarity that we come to, like whatever understanding that we come to, it will be from within, like internal. And so this is a great time. And for you, dear Virgos, this might be something around financial stuff. Because remember, Mercury retrograde is going back and redoing something, maybe something like regarding your finances, loans, maybe refinancing, stuff like that. And so remember to compromise around this time and expect that maybe there might be a lot more passionate speeches from leaders around this time. Yeah, time also. And so after this, on April 19th, we have the Sun entering Taurus for a month, so like until May 19th. And on the same day, Mercury will be conjunct Venus in Aries in your 8th house. So this means that it will be easier to reach compromise on that day regarding like 8th house matters. And next, right after this, like on April 20th, Jupiter and Uranus will be conjunct in Taurus on the 21st degree of Taurus. So, dear Virgos, if you have your rising sign around the 21st degree, or if you were born around like September 12th, 13th, then you're going to feel the trine effect from this. You're going to feel it more than other Virgos. I mean, all Virgos are going to feel it, but those are going to feel it the most. And so this conjunction, as I said in the beginning of the video, is rare. Last time we had this conjunction was 14 years ago, or 13 years ago. So, and back then, Uranus was in Aries, Jupiter was also in Aries, and now, 14 years later, Uranus is in Taurus, and Jupiter is also in Taurus. And so, dear Virgos, try to remember what happened back then, like in 2010 and 11, when this conjunction happened. Back then, it happened in your 8th house, right? So, like something about finances, like big money. Like transformation. Those were the themes back then, and it might have been like in a positive way, not necessarily in a bad way, because Jupiter is involved. And when Jupiter is involved, it's like an expansion in a positive way, and Uranus is like sudden, futuristic, science, technology, that kind of stuff. So expansion in those areas, and this time it's happening in your 9th house in Taurus, and so something related to like travel, foreigners, foreign languages, dealing with like foreign companies, like religion, your worldview, education. So all of those things are going to get this boost. So like burst of excitement, adventure, like bold changes happening in your 9th house matters. All right, maybe like you will suddenly decide to travel to someplace, or maybe you'll have some sudden opportunity to work abroad, or maybe you'll meet someone exciting that is a foreigner, or maybe you will read something that's going to change your worldview, or maybe something will happen that will alter your worldview in a positive way. Yes, stuff like that. And so after that, exactly like one day after this, like the next day, we have a bit of a crappy aspect, and that is Sun in Taurus will be making a square to Pluto in Aquarius on the 2nd degree. And so this might feel a bit like downer, yeah, like power struggles and stuff, but thankfully it's temporary, like it's a very short-lived aspect. It's going to be effective for like 3 days maximum, maybe. And then on April 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio on the 4th degree of Scorpio. And dear Virgos, that is your 3rd house. It's the house of siblings, neighbors, schooling, like learning. What else? Communication, writing. And so something coming to a culmination, illumination in that area of your life, like clarity, okay, and achievement. So maybe your sibling will achieve something, and you will be celebrating with them that achievement. Or maybe you will complete some major project that involved lots of writing, because full moon is culmination. Maybe around this time you will finish that project. So yeah, like that is the theme. Like so, the sun will be shining in your 9th house, and the moon will be illuminating your 3rd house. So there will be a need for balance in those two areas of your life. It's like your worldview and how you write, and like yeah, like your philosophy, your religion, your beliefs, and your siblings, neighbors, that kind of stuff. And also short distance travel. Third house rules short distance travel and commute. So maybe something coming to a culmination regarding those matters. And keep in mind that full moons are the times of like moodiness, emotionalness, like emergency workers and policemen know that around full moons people tend to act up, like they act like lunatics. Even the word itself, the lunatic, comes from the word luna, the moon, right? And so yeah, be patient with others around this time, dear Virgo. Like I know you guys don't like too much display of emotion, like when it's just unnecessary, when it's just too dramatic, like you're like like be practical. But yeah, so around this time, like try to be patient with others and maybe be patient with yourself too, because Scorpio full moons are intense. Yeah, the moon feels weak in Scorpio. So yeah, I would say April 23rd, the days around April 23rd will be kind of like either moody or like when you're celebrating something, because it's achievement too. All right, so on April 25th, Mercury goes direct in Aries. Yes, finally. So no more misunderstandings, no more confusion, no more forgetting things. All right, but I wouldn't jump to signing contracts right away. Wait until like May or like middle of May, preferably. And then on April 29th, Venus enters Taurus until May 23rd. So Venus is going to leave your house of finances, shared resources, and enter your global house. Global house is where we like look at the world, not just like our country, our local surroundings, but like at the entire world. So Venus is going to enter that area. So dealing with foreigners will become much smooth and easy because Venus will be bringing that gentle energy in there. So, or if you're planning to travel around that time, like at the end of April, or let's say in May, until like May 23rd, if you are planning to travel around that time, then it means you might travel to a really beautiful location, or you might travel with someone very pleasant, because that is Venus stuff. And next, on April 30th, Mars will enter Aries until June 9th. Yeah, so Mars will bring all of that hyperactive, assertive energy into your house of intimacy. That's all I'm going to say. And so yeah, dear Virgos, this is it for the month of April. As I said, it's going to be a hectic month because remember, we are in the midst of eclipse season. And the eclipse months are usually very like energetically intense, not necessarily in a bad way. It's just we are adjusting, adapting to the new normal. And so remember that like all the dust will settle by the middle of May, and we're gonna have stability until September, because in September we're gonna have eclipses, and it's gonna be in your sign, so that should be exciting. Virgo dear, like so sort your finances first while the eclipse is happening in Aries and Libra, and then you will be ready for romance and relationships. All right, so this was it for April. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in my solar eclipse videos and in my May video. All right, bye.